Mure Zimbabwe Chiwenga oya nazvo hazvina kumira zvakanaka. Ukaona vanhu vakambenge vachisapota Emerson Mnangagwa vakutaura kuti tabvuma treki iri kufambirwa naChiwenga ndo chaiyo chaiyo. Zvinhu zvisina kumira zvakanaka. Zvinhu hazvina kumira zvakanaka mumacorridors esimba umu, zvinhu hazvina kugadzikana. Raida kuti ndikuudzei pane umwe former MP anonzi Honorable Zivu, Kila Zivu, ari kuuya achiti achitaura Chiwenga achiti he is the most genius soldier I've known in my life. He plays his cards well. More than 10 million people believe in him. If he calls a meeting within 3 hours, they will gather for the voice of reason. Son of the soil, don't drop the stick. You are really on the right track. Muri Zimbabwe zvina zvinomira zvakanaka. Ukaona Honorable Ziva kutaura nyaya idzi, chiziva kuti zvinomira zvakanaka. Right. Kwete mwenyaya tautaura zvekare toda kusanganisa ipapo pane nyaya yaRutendo Matinyarare akanga achikumbira regerero achiti ndakataura kuti president pfungwa dzavo dzichatori zvakanaka nekuda kwekukura, akataura zvakawanda wanda zvakataura zvezvi. But pandira kuti ndikuonesei ndepekuti aiso Rutendo Matinyarare akaramba akastika nepekuti Cape 3 haifaniri kuita successful. Ipapo chete ndipo pane kuratidza kuti Rutendo Matinyarare ane zvimwe zvinhu zvaari kutoziva. Izvo kumbira regerero zvakari kukumbira, but pakukumbira regerero pake makada kuteereresa akazotaura kuti mai Mnangagwa anofanira kuti vataure nababa vanzwisane panyaya yeCape 3 because iri kumutsa nyonga muZANU-PF. Ende nyonga iri kubvira kupi? Chiwenga haasi kuwirirana nayo, Sanyatwa haasi kuwirirana nayo, maretired generals ariko haasi kuwirirana nenyaya yeCape 3. So nemaveterans haasi kuwirirana nenyaya yeCape 3. Ma-civilians, ma-citizens enyika yeZimbabwe haasi kuwirirana nechinhu. Saka muri Zimbabwe zvinomira zvakanaka. Chiwenga akunyarara kwese ukuku, ndofunga muri kuziva kuti ari kuti paanopiwa platform andotaura against Cape 3, but anoitaurira madimikira nekuda kwekuti achiri mupati yeZANU-PF. That's why achitaura izvozvo. Dai anga asiri mupati yeZANU-PF aitonyatsoti tyo, but nyaya yekuti arimo mupati imomo, that's why achitaura izvi. Emerson Mnangagwa anofanira kudzidza zvakaitika pana Mugabe, ndizvo zvaanofanira kudzidza izvozvo. But iye nekuda kwekuti ari kufungidzira kuti akanyanya, ari kufungidzira kuti iye zvakagadzira system ndio zvichiri system zvainoripota kwaari zvakasiyana nezvainoripota kuna Chiwenga. Saka izvozvi tinotoziva kuti kana ana George Charamba chaivandozviziva muZANU-PF momo kuti zvimuti zvakatoshifta kudhara, zvimuti zvaatova naChiwenga ndeatova nechimuti, iyi family itori padhuze kubatwa iyi, but havasi kuziva chete vanhu vavari kutamba navo. So naizvozvo muri Zimbabwe ndo nyaya ngeda kuti tikuonesei zvinhu zvinomira zvakanaka. Chiwenga atora chinhu. Tinokutendai mose noteerera kwenyu kwese pano pachivhitivhiti. Tichakusiyai makateerera kubva kumacomrades edu pano pachivhitivhiti chenyu.
Process is not strategic and wrong. We simply don't have the numbers to stop Cap 3 because we destroyed our own party and structures that were supposed to fight this bill. And we destroyed our own party and structures that were supposed to fight this bill. I want to hold this. No, sorry. I mean, comments. But that is what he said. When the words that he said, I don't know how you've seen them, or I don't know, what you think about it or about them. Rejecting and tarnishing the whole process is not strategic and wrong. We simply don't have the numbers to stop Cap 3 because we destroyed our own party and structures that were supposed to fight on this bill. That is heavy. I don't know what my will say, but that is heavy. And it's a heavy statement that it requires and deserves more than just reactions. It requires us to undertake proper analysis. I know, Koti, we've spoken about the what has happened in the opposition, but instead of having this, what has always happened, Kuti people, you look to the outside to say, my problems are one outside. But instead, what he's revealing is something internal. And I just wish that we should just bury this once and for all. But chokwadi chaita se chanyazotaurika tiyazonzwisa kuti zvochii. What is it that went down, and what is it that continue to happen? Okay, before I go further into what I want to say, I want us to be clear about the context. The one that he's referring to, Kuti, we destroyed our own party and structures that were supposed to fight this bill. What does he mean by that? We are in the constitutional amendment, number 3 thing, and that right there, I've said it in previous spaces that it is not an administrative tweak that is about to happen. But the moment is reflective of a fundamental restructuring of how we are going to be choosing our leaders. It's affecting the presidents, the legislator, the electoral playing field, and the balance of power. All these things are at stake. So we've always contended, or we've always argued to say when you see a constitution being changed without a broader consensus, without legitimacy, and without the participation of the people, then it is not just a legal process, but it becomes a political moment that defines the next decade, and therefore we need to pay attention to everything that will be happening, or we need to put our all in terms of pushing back, or in terms of fighting this, because it is something that is going to bring in these fundamental changes. So this is why I want to say, this is why some of us are saying, if it is something that is really needed, then there has to be a broader or a broad consensus. There has to be that consultation. People have to be brought into the mix. But now we know this process, how it is being done. There was a point whereby we said if we go to parliament, maybe probably there is an opportunity for parliament to put a stop to even though it was a stretch. But there was that lingering thought that people had to say, "Kuti chinhu ichi chikaenda kana kuparliament uku, we are going to see a push, a fight." Not that we're not saying it, but you know, when when some when an opposition MP comes out and says we don't have the numbers, that is not just counting, ladies and gentlemen. That is not just maths. That is not arithmetic. To me, there is an admission about the state of affairs in the opposition ecosystem. There is an admission about organizational collapse. And when you see this warning coming, it is telling you about the internal fragmentation that is put us at a point of national vulnerability where we are finding ourselves today. There is an internal an accusation that is internal that he's bringing in here. This is no longer about ZANU PF. It is no longer about whatever it is that happened. I don't know why we are at this juncture whereby the message that is out there, that is being put out there, is speaking to something else other than ZANU PF. We become accustomed to the idea that it is ZANU PF that brings all the ills when it comes to opposition political parties. But right now you're being told that, oh, it is our fault. So we have now been forced to confront a difficult truth, because everything that we have been doing, we've been trying to fight the constitutional amendment. Some people have gone on to demonstrate. Some people have gone to embassies. Some people have put in, hashtags. Some people is expressed the moral outrage. But what Wende is seem to be telling us is saying, Guti, that alone cannot fight, this constitutional amendment. And he's right. And he's saying you need structures, you need MPs. Do you know what ZANU PF did in March? ZANU PF went to their structures in March. It was around the 12th of the 12th of March. Let me see. It was around the 12th of March. Pakangonzi, we are doing something kumasero, Vakaenda kumasero wow. We're doing something kumasero. Why does something kumasero ikoko? Even though with ZANU PF is always ZANU PF, they use dubious means to get whatever it is that they want to get. There were there were there were submissions that were compiled, written submissions to send to Parliament. So they simply went to their structures and just one paper photocopied, and people were just told to sign here, 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 sign here. I guess maybe this is what he's talking about. Probably because some people just went here, sign here, went to my post to recall, sign here, went Ugo, sign here, went Ugo, sign sign here. Probably that is the reason why he's saying you need structures. And now we say we need MPs, but where did these MPs go? Because I remember 2023 we didn't give ZANU PF a two-thirds majority, a two-thirds mandate. We need MPs. So we need structures, we need MPs, and that right there shows, Kuti, you require a unified movement. So whether people agree or with him or do not agree with him, his message is profound because it is exposing deeper issues. He's simply trying to tell us, Kuti, the opposition, you cannot outsource your organizational failures, to ZANU PF. You may do that. ZANU PF might have a hand, but when it comes to organizational failure, you cannot outsource that to ZANU PF. You have to look inside of you. Because if the opposition is weak, as we have seen now, ZANU PF will legislate. And this is exactly what is happening. If the opposition is divided, ZANU PF will just consolidate. They will tell you there's no opposition. Let's say, they do decide to abandon, parliament. Like what some, did, abandon, parliament. There was a vacuum that was left, and it was a vacuum that was filled by ZANU PF. Because politics, in its nature, it does not tolerate empty spaces. That is the truth of the matter. So, if you then look again at the statement appearing in our Wende, it brings again a strategic question. Okay, if the numbers are against you in parliament, what then is the role of that parliament when those numbers are against you? What are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to walk away? Are you supposed to use your presence in there to delegitimize, the process? Do you stay in there and fight from the inside? Expose, the contradictions, force a debate, and build a public record that future generations can point to, despite, the numbers. Yes, you don't have numbers. But what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to just walk away and resign to the fact that, oh, we don't have numbers, so this thing, is unstoppable? I don't know what kind of opposition, goes on in that August. I remember one woman who stood, by herself as an independent woman, telling the telling the Shamharians of this world that that was Margaret Lungo, giving them a hard time. And now opposition tells you, oh, we don't have. Ah, man, yeah, ah.